Welcome everybody to the channel today. Today we're going to be making lasagna. Lasagna that I'm going to make out of my elk sausage, a few other things like that. This one's going to have a few items added that you don't normally add, I think, like mushrooms. I like mushrooms in my lasagna. Everything will be in the description on the video. The whole recipe will be there, so check down below. Subscribe if you haven't, like if you do, and hit that bell if you want notifications. All right, let's get into this. Good morning, everybody. Today's project we're going to be working on, we've ran out of our freeze-dried lasagna. So I need to stock up and build up a bunch of that for this year. So what we're going to use today is we're going to be using wild game sausage to make our lasagna. My sausage is made out of elk, and I use 50% elk and 50% very lean pork, and then season it up. For freeze drying, you don't want a lot of fat, so I'm pretty selective on the pork that I use. I'll buy a pork roast, a pork shoulder. I'll bone off all the meat and try to keep as much fat out of it as possible. Anyways, we're gonna make a big batch. I'm not sure how many trays this is gonna yield, but this is what we're gonna use. We're gonna use a couple of versions of sauce. I'm gonna be using some Prego and some Great Value. Basically, any sauce will work, just use whatever sauce you like. Roasted garlic Parmesan is this one, and tomato basil garlic is this one. But anyway, I'm gonna be using some garlic salt, some Italian seasoning, some pepper, a couple of containers of cottage cheese. Got 3 small cans of mushrooms I'm gonna use. Of course, a large bag of egg noodles. And we're gonna have, I like it really cheesy. I've got some mozzarella cheese and a mixed blend of 4 cheeses here that I'll add in there with my sausage. But in this batch, I'm putting in 5 pounds of sausage. So, all right, first step in the process is we're gonna fry up our sausage. Fair amount of liquid down there. I'm gonna drain that liquid off. Okay, I'm gonna add 3 7-ounce cans of mushrooms. All right, this is such a large batch, I had to put it into a bigger pan, bigger kettle to hold everything. I'm gonna go ahead and add my sauce now. A couple of things I like to add to my lasagna is I'm gonna add a couple of 16-ounce containers of cottage cheese. What I'll do with my cottage cheese is I add 1 nice ranch egg. And I'll just stir that in. We want to season this to taste. Needs a little more garlic in there. I think a little more Italian seasoning on top of that will help out. A big batch. We'll just sprinkle it in like so. Okay, our sauce is ready. I've added all the ingredients there, got it seasoned to taste. It's boiled a little bit. We're gonna set it aside and get going on our noodles. Okay, my water's starting to boil. I added my egg noodles. I'm gonna start out with a 32-ounce bag of extra wide egg noodles. And I think for good measure, I'm gonna add a little more noodles. Maybe not quite a half a bag or so. And I think that'll get me what I need, because I got a pretty big batch going. So noodles are something that are pretty important. You don't want to overcook them. All right, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, now wait a minute. Lasagna is layered. You put down a layer of your meats and your sauces, and then you put down some noodles, and then you layer it with cheese and all the everything. And you know, if I was making a traditional lasagna in the oven that I was going to serve here on the table, that would be correct. But this lasagna I'm building is going to go into freeze-dried meals, and it's going to the backcountry. And so I'm doing it just a little different. It's got all the same components as your standard lasagna. It's just I'm doing a little different. Instead of the flat, layering noodles, I've used these type of noodles in mine. And so I'm going to mix this all in, and that's how my lasagna is going to work for the backcountry. So let's add the noodles to our sauce. See how we fared on mixture. I mean, a good lasagna has 3 things. It has a lot of really good sauce with good meat in it. It's got a lot of excellent cheese, and it's got a quality noodle in it. And you can see here, I can tip that so you can see in there a little better. My consistency is getting to be pretty good. All right, last thing I'm gonna add is cheese. This batch is gonna get 2 pounds of mozzarella cheese. I'm gonna add that in. Then I also have a batch here of 4 cheese blend. It's got Monterey Jack, cheddar, Asadero, and quesadilla cheese. I'm gonna put about, half of that in there. That's about a pound of that. I'll get it mixed up good, and then we'll be ready to load it on the trays. Stand by. All right, I've got my trays divided up. I do 6 1-cup servings per tray. So it's time to load them up. We'll just start dipping out a couple lasagna per divider. All right, got it all loaded up. You can see that was a large batch. I got 2, 4, 6, 7, almost 8 full trays. So almost 2 full batches for the freeze dryer out of that amount that I did. So if you want to make a smaller batch, you can adjust the recipe accordingly. All right, well, the freeze dryer batch is done. We're gonna package these up. You can see that's pretty good looking lasagna right there. All right, so my trays here, I have 6 cups portioned out. I make a cup. So I'm just gonna take a spatula here and just chop it right in half in the middle. Or as close to it as I can get anyway. So I do something a little different than most people do. I don't package it in a great big square like that. I've just found that they rehydrate better if I break that up a little bit. So I put it in a heavy duty Ziploc bag, and I have one of these meat tenderizers. I just give it a couple of whacks like that. It doesn't crush it into powder, it just breaks it up into pieces. And then I just put that in my container, and I'll put a half of one in there, and move this so you can see what I do there. I put it in a plastic bag, just give it a couple of taps, and it just kind of breaks apart. I don't know if you can see that, but it's not pulverized, it's just in pieces, and that'll rehydrate a lot better. All right, I got them all packaged up. Put a 300cc oxygen absorber in each one. Okay, I got my oxygen absorber in. I just want to make sure it's out of the road. Zip it shut and seal it up. There we go. I'll do the rest of those and then I'll label them. All right, I got my lasagna all done. It's all packaged up. The oxygen absorbers are in. You can see it sucked all the oxygen out. They almost look vacuum packed. I printed up some labels. Just put lasagna, 52323, and 1 cup of water. Just gonna put those on and they'll be ready to go into my storage. All right, let's give this lasagna a go. There's all that good lasagna in there. Calls for a cup of water. I got a cup of boiling water. Put it in there. Zip the pouch shut. I like to give it a shake back and forth. Make sure everything is nice and wet. We'll let that sit for about 4 minutes. We'll give it another shake, let it cook for another 4 minutes, and then we'll enjoy it. All right, the moment's at hand. Let's reveal the beauty. And the cheese, look at the cheese on that. Ooh, I put extra cheese in this because I like a lot of cheese. Anyway, set that off to the side. Consistency looks pretty good. That's got the lasagna look to it. Hopefully you can see how good that looks. But the proof is always in the pudding, as they say. In this case, the proof is in the lasagna. It's got plenty of cheese, I like that. Consistency's perfect. Meat's rehydrated. This lasagna I put mushrooms in. Got the mushrooms in there. The noodles are perfect, very cheesy, good flavor. I'll consider this one a win. Well, hope you liked and got something out of this video. You know the drill. Subscribe if you haven't, like if you do, and if you want notifications, hit the bell. We'll see you on the next video. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks for watching.